Starving prisoners line up to face another day of grueling forced labor in rare photos of inmates at a North Korean prison camp. Alongside stacks of grain. Another photo appears to show inmates in a yard flanked by industrial workshops. Kim Do-yoon, who escaped North Korea and has knowledge of the camp, said the prisoners photographed faced punishing forced labor. He said, sometimes prisoners are mobilized to help nearby farms. They have to line up and walk like the images show when they go to work or back from work. Also, their uniforms are gray and they wear the same color hats, and you can see that the top of their heads looks a little bit white in the image. The image of the prisoners shows clearly that Do-sung-ni is still operating. Prisoners who aren't sent food by their families face a battle for survival, Mr. Kim added. He said, families can support prisoners with food, but of course not all the food you send will go to your family in prison, some is taken by officers. If prisoners don't have family or are not supported by families, life in prison is much more difficult to survive. An estimated 2,500 people are imprisoned within Do-sung-ni. According to Anti-Slavery International, prisoners in North Korea begin work as early as 4 a.m. and continue as late as midnight, with 12-hour shifts and no rest days being typical. The Committee for Human Rights in North Korea, HRNK, which released the pictures, detailed Do-sung-ni in a new report. It describes how the prisoners not only toil in nearby farms, but also manufacture uniforms, winter coats, hats, boots and bicycles for North Korea's security services. Executive Director Greg Scarlatois said, prisoners at this and other North Korean detention facilities are subjected to a relentless vicious cycle of forced labor and induced malnutrition. Conditions are terrible and we have documented the use of forced labor at the camp. As brutal as it is, Do-sung-ni is one of the less severe camps. The facility is a kyohwaso or re-education camp, used to punish lesser offenses. The most serious crimes, political crimes, are punished at Kwanliso camps, which the regime denies exist. Mr. Kim's father was sentenced to 8 years in prison and the family had requested he be transferred to Do-sung-ni, which was local to them. However, he was already too weak to work and was refused by the guards, even when a bribe was offered. Mr. Kim recalled, "They didn't accept my father because they believed he would die very soon. "It was true that my father was almost dying because of the torture he got in the detention center. He was down to 66 pounds and the Kyohwaso didn't want to dispose of the body." Mr. Kim's father died 2 years into his sentence. Mr. Scarlatoy credited improvements in satellite imagery for the fact we could now see the prisoners themselves. He said, "It is not the technology itself that has improved. Rather, for national security reasons, the resolution of open-source imagery is not as good as that of classified imagery." That said, the resolution available in the public domain has continued to improve, and this trend is certain to continue. The report's lead author, North Korea expert Joseph Bermudez, said there were implications for justice now that satellite images were available with enough detail to reveal human beings. He said, "This is evidence that can be brought into a court of law and used." When we combine it with the interviews with former detainees, it provides powerful evidence that can be used to bring those who have perpetrated these issues to justice. That is what we intend to do. Mr. Kim warned that the prisoners in the photo were only the tip of the iceberg. "My story is not unique and it didn't happen 100 or 200 years ago," he said. "At this very moment there are thousands of people in North Korea like my father and our family suffering from this kind of oppression and human rights violations.